Yes, I will be on the play. Well, this seems pretty good. Turn 1 Grindstone to turn 2 Master Decoy again, and to turn 3 Coffin Queen or Bottle Gnomes. That doesn't seem bad. Curving out pretty well here. So let's go land, Grindstone. Probably not going to activate that for a while. And I don't know if it's I don't know if you should be activating it as much as possible, or if you want to hold off until you've already established a board. The previous 2 games, it didn't really go that great. Like, it did okay, but my opponent was able to come out from under it pretty easily. So it might be better to just go ahead and commit to the board before I start firing it off. Let's go ahead and play our swamp. Next turn, I'll probably go ahead and play the Coffin Queen, because then I can start recurring the Bottle Gnomes. Right, because I'll sacrifice it, and it'll go to the graveyard, but it only becomes exiled if Coffin Queen becomes untapped, or I lose control of Coffin Queen. I guess I could Grindstone until I hit something in my opponent's graveyard I want, so I think that's another good reason to go ahead and play Coffin Queen here. Oh no, some sort of sliver deck. I'm definitely going to want to start grindstoning then. But I will wait until after I've played Coffin Queen, as it will allow me to steal my opponent's creatures. I like this artwork for Bottle Gnomes a lot. I thought they were going to have new art for Bottle Gnomes for some reason. Well, that's a pretty good card too, but I think I'm more interested in beginning the grind. Phyrexian Hulk. I can get that card back next turn. Also get the Deathstroke. That card's going to be pretty good against my deck. I think the choice is obvious. I think I have to sacrifice Master Decoy here, as the Coffin Queen is just going to generate me tons of value. Hopefully I draw some sort of 2-drop. Keep my mana open. Got a lot of Foglio stuff here. This is Kaja, right? Yeah. All about that Foglio art, man. They just did like everything in this set. My opponent sifted. Well, I'm pretty happy to draw that card. I don't really need to play it yet, as I'm more interested in taking this Phyrexian Hulk currently. This is 3 mana, right? Yeah. So I'll be taking the Phyrexian Hulk at the end of my opponent's turn here. And then if my opponent has a Deathstroke, I've forced him to use it on his turn. Because Deathstroke's a sorcery, so I will get to untap with it if I do it on his end step. Alright, so that means what I can do is I can get... I'm going to test on the Hulk, I guess. It does kind of blank my turn a little, I suppose. So this must have been the person. This might have been the person sitting to the left of me. Yeah, that's what I thought. It goes back to his graveyard. That's a pretty neat trick to protect my Coffin Queen. So I'm hoping to draw a land. So I can Grindstone and Coffin Queen. But under no real pressure from my opponent. Does it become exiled from the graveyard? I don't think so. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, so drawing a land there is good. Let's Grindstone my opponent. 2 lands, unfortunately. So still getting back the Phyrexian Hulk. I'll take some damage here. Then I will take Phyrexian Hulk. Will not untap. Play land. I don't really need to do that. Let's Grindstone my opponent. Oh yeah, hit him good with that one. 3 Diabolic Edicts? Wow. Let's play Bottle Gnomes. I guess I could have played the Harpy to block the Sliver. Okay. Didn't want me to have that, so glad I did that there. Let's look at the Staunch Defenders. Well, my opponent has all the removal, so that's a little unfortunate. But I can play the Screeching Harpy and Grindstone next turn. Or I could play the Staunch Defenders if need be. Since I'm only taking 2 here, I'm not that worried. My opponent has tons and tons of removal, though. That's 2 Deathstrokes and 3 Edicts. So this might be this to get an instant back, so he can get back Edict. Or is he a sorcery? No, he's an instant. Yeah, I had a feeling it was going to be Diabolic Edict, which doesn't really bother me. I'm glad I know he has it. I do like Gravedigger. It will let me get back Coffin Queen, which I can then go ahead and play. So now I can sacrifice the Gravedigger to the Edict. Probably going to be playing the Staunch Defenders next turn. Not too worried about that. I will take 4. So yeah, definitely going to want to play the Staunch Defenders here. If I draw a land, I'll be able to Grindstone as well. Alrighty. So I'll leave myself open to either Coffin Queening or Grindstoning. Probably going to be the Grindstone. Although I do have 3 creatures I can get back that I don't think I would hate to get back. I might end up getting back the Master Decoy. If my opponent wants to loot, that only helps me. Discarding a Sift. Seems a little strange. So I actually think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back Gravedigger and then get the Master Decoy. Yeah. And I will go ahead and untap her because I don't really need the Gravedigger anymore. Alright, my opponent has seen enough. I think this is good. My opponent didn't really have a lot of pressure. He had some amount of flyers. So maybe bringing Revenant would be good, but I think that was a solid game and game plan. He's got a lot of weenies. So yeah, I mean the Grindstone Coffin Queen is something we've aspired to pull off in the past 2 games, but I was actually able to put it to some good use there, especially getting extra value out of my Gravedigger. Being able to, return the creature to my hand, but not have to worry about untapping my Coffin Queen. Because, I could have been able to keep his creatures down, and then my plan was to play the, well, I guess Grindstone first, and see what I hit. Maybe get a creature back, but probably just playing the tap guy, and keep my opponent tapped out. Or keeping the shadow creature tapped, I should say. I think 2 Master Decoys is a pretty fine start. It definitely is going to help me against my opponent's flying creatures, so I think this is fine, especially since I'm on the draw. And I just need 1 swamp to complete the package here. And I've noticed there's not a lot of... Well, that certainly helps with the swamp element. I've noticed most people don't have a 1-drop. You know, they tend to be Sarcomancy or Carnophage. And my opponent isn't black, so he could have that. But, you know, it's not an all-the-time thing. So I can't get Spell Blasted here, because I'm pretty sure Spell Blast is 1x. So I'm going to go ahead and try and deploy a Master Decoy. Next turn I have the option of playing any of my creatures, and I may just go ahead and play the Harpy. Although that does... well... Now I want to play the other Master Decoy. My opponent does have a ton of removal. I'm going to need to get my recursion online. Yeah, let's try and play another one. So actually, with all this removal, Revenant might actually be pretty good to bring in, as it will allow me to get my graveyard's going to be pretty stacked. I might have another one. If he does, I think I'm happy that he's getting rid of all this stuff, especially since I have fly. I'm like tying up his turns with these relatively innocuous creatures. I mean, keeping creatures down is pretty good, but I'm gonna be able to play, you know, a regenerating or a pump 4-drop or a regenerating 4-drop next turn. It's gonna be more of a threat to my opponent. Spirit Encore is not bad either. I think I'd rather him Edict that than the Harpy, since the Harpy can regenerate, so I'll just go ahead and play him for now. Don't mind Youthful Knight. Let's go ahead and play him. My opponent has another Edict. Now is the time to use it. And since I can regenerate the Harpy, I don't really think there's a reason to attack with Spirit Encore here and play into one of those 2 or perhaps more copies he has. That is fine. Yeah, I'm not going to play into that card in case he has it. My opponent has lots of counters and removal, but I don't think we actually saw his win condition last game, other than the fact that he had some black slivers as well as a sliver that gives slivers flying. Alright, that's pretty good, because I would like to also put the Dungeon Shade this turn. And I will get to... My opponent has a lot of counter spells. But he has not yet seen my grand master plan of Volrath's Lab plus Coat of Arms plus Humility. The 3-card combo. I am kind of out of gas now, though. So this might... Oh. It's getting back Dismiss or Edict, maybe? I guess Edict. Okay. He's more concerned about what I'm going to be playing. So I know he's a counterspell now. Land is not really what I needed. So I can actually keep my Spirit Encore back as a blocker, redirect the damage to the Harpy, and then regenerate the Harpy. That seems like a solid plan. I think it would have made more sense to have bought that back, but whatever. I'm pretty sure we saw 3 Edicts in my opponent's deck last game, though, so he probably has another one, in which case I will go ahead and sacrifice the Spirit Encore. Okay. Don't think I really mind that. Because I still have my blocker. Alright, well that is going to be a little annoying. Because now my opponent can ding me every turn. Oh, I just had to sacrifice a permanent? Okay, I'm totally doing this. Oh, I meant to block. I don't know what just happened. Who am I? My opponent still has that dismiss, unfortunately. But I have stuff for days. And since my opponent got a little greedy with that Clot Sliver attack, opponent got a little greedy, so happy to bash 4. And my opponent's really packing on the Sifs. If I could only get my Grindstone. And now my opponent's let down his defenses as well. Oh, there we go. I guess I could have left back my Spirit Encore. Oh, well, no. If my opponent wants to race, I think that's a race I can win. As long as I keep drawing lands, I can keep sacrificing them to the Volrath's Curse. Okay. Yeah, it's not really getting anywhere. I wonder why he returned it to his hand. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that's a little annoying. He's going to have an army of regenerators. So now I can't really attack. Humility would be great, except he has a counter spell. Let's see if he'll counter my Sliver. I'm sure that he will. But then I'll be able to smash. I guess I could have done it the other way. Yeah, that's fine. It's going to let me attack for 2 here, though. Winning by inches. So we can bash 4. But it seems to me like it'd be easier to leave back at least 1 blocker. I mean, we each have each other on a 2-turn clock. If he's another creature here, I guess I'm kind of screwed. Yeah. Let's go ahead and force him to counter this, then swing for 2. Although I think we're pretty dead here. Because I don't think I can... Yeah, I think he just lets it through and I am unable to do anything about it. No, he has to... He doesn't have to block, but he doesn't have a ton of turn. Okay, so trading there was probably not good, but I don't really have anything else. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to win this one. Because even with the grindstone, I don't think I have enough. But I am... Okay. Well, that's a card. Yeah. We'll go ahead and go to the next game. Yep, just too many flyers. Humility would have helped. I think Revenant will help. Especially with that much removal. So maybe Revenant. Shave Lotus Petal. Don't think I really need it. But the rest of this seems good. Yeah, and I have some anti-flyer tech. My opponent just has so much removal. Also, he's got that switcheroo spell. Yes, we will be on the play. Ugh. Mulligan. Keep. I got my 2-card combo. Gonna really need to top deck a land, though. And of course, those are 5 drops, so this might go poorly. Okay, well that was right on time. No 2-drop. So I guess the question is, do I grindstone or standing troops? And if my opponent doesn't play a creature, I think I'm more inclined. I think I'm more inclined to grindstone because my opponent wins based on overwhelming me with a bunch of flyers I can't deal with, and he has counter magic open currently. And I draw another standing troops, which is fine and dandy. But I think for now, because standing troops actually does get around some of his removal spells. You know what, let's just go ahead and grindstone. Alright, well, that's not unhappy with that. If my opponent taps out here, I think then I play the standing troops. But if my opponent doesn't play anything, I will continue to grindstone. So missing a land drop, unfortunately. So now I will make my move and play standing troops. And my opponent has to discard a card. Well, only had also gotten a land last turn. I guess I could play the Clot Sliver, because if my opponent follows up the sliver of his own... Yeah... Yeah, let's go ahead and play the Clot Sliver. It dodges removal and blocks just as well as the troops. There we go. Not unhappy to see that, as it does mean I'll get to Volras Lab next turn. Stay the course, leave open my Clot Sliver as a blocker. Okay, well that's just dirty. Do I want... I think I'll just respond by grindstoning him. So, no blocks. Oh, my cat's in here. Sorry if you hear him meowing. So I guess we'll test the waters with the standing troops. Some counterspell bait. Yeah, counter that. I think it's probably better to grindstone than try and play the other one, though. So my opponent's only attacking for 3 a turn currently. And I think the grindstone can erase that. Okay, so I guess I'm actually helping out my opponent a little. But if he taps out, I'll be able to play Volras Laboratory. So what am I trying to do here? I could play the stand. So I'll take 5 damage. So now I'm suddenly on a 3-turn clock. This unfortunately doesn't help. But do I think I can mill 13 cards in 3 turns? I personally don't. I don't know. I think I'm gonna do it and then play standing troops. Because neither of them really help me right now. Definitely cannot play Coat of Arms. Unfortunately, I'm playing the opponent with the Sliver deck. All right, that's a land. Let's attack for 1. So I'm on a 2-turn clock here, unfortunately. Don't think I'm going to be able to get out from under this. I guess we can go ahead and play Volras Lab. Probably going to get countered. Yeah. But that does bring me 1 card closer to victory here. All right. Just thinking ahead. Yeah, my opponent just has so much removal. I guess Humility could have saved me a while ago. It's probably not going to now. Well, look at that. If I'd activated Grindstone maybe one more time, I could have done it. Yeah, let's go ahead and concede. So currently 0-2. I'll see you guys in the final round.